Hey everyone, it's Rob here for the Toybox, and today I'm taking a look at the Boba Fett Star Wars Destiny starter set. So this is what it looks like here. Oh, look at that. Boba Fett's giving me a little, oh no you didn't. Oh no you didn't. Get out of here, girl. Get out of here. Get out of here. Alright, now that's out of the way. Had some fun. So this is the Boba Fett starter set that accompanied the Luke Skywalker set. Again, 24 cards, 9 premium dice. Here on the side here, Boba Fett, speeder bike, hunting rifle, wrist rockets, another Boba Fett, veteran stormtrooper, the natural ally of Boba Fett, hunter instinct, slave 1, and a hidden blaster. Now, you may have seen in the written piece that I did for E14 that I was not keen on the fact that it's a veteran stormtrooper inside. I feel like it, considering that, look, there's Bosk right there. There he is. He's right in front of you. Why can't you just have him in the game as the other character? Why? Anyway, that's, enough ranting. So here's the back of the cards. Gives you an idea of the booster pack you can buy. So the Obi-Wan themed one. Hello there. And yeah, here's the box and all that stuff. On the bottom here, you can see the age range it's made for, how many players, and how long it should take to play. So let's see what's inside. So here we go. Right, so I'll pop those to one side. Here's our dice. Here's coming out the back here. We've got our, much like the Luke Skywalker set, it obviously doesn't rely on you having the other one, which is nice. So it's got the collector's template here, which I'm struggling for some reason to open. So this is the booster packs for the most recent set, so Legacies at the time of recording. I think there's a new one coming soon. The collector's list here, which gives you a sense of what's available and how easy it is to get, which is always nice. So there's only a few legendaries. Don't know which ones I'd really want if I had to pick. Tarkin maybe. I'm not sure if Krennic has appeared in earlier ones. I'm a fan of his, as we know. Yeah, so there's quite a few cool cards that sound awesome. Here we've got our sheet of shields, resources, and damage tokens to track what's going on during the game. It's got some schmutz on it for some reason. Don't really understand why, but there you go. That's kind of the thing. So, yeah. Here we have the rules, which expand out. Much easier this time than the Luke set. So it gives you the setup. One thing I do like about these sets is that they build the cards that came in your starter into the rules, which is a nice kind of way of tying it all together, rather than having, generic cards that don't make any sense in context. So that's always nice. So here we go. So here's all the bits and pieces. So on the back here is the more advanced rules, the die symbols, although you do get a reference card, all the credits and the battlefield's claiming ability, which I've not used fantastically often, I'll be honest, but there we go. Keywords and bits and pieces in, glossary almost in the Rata. Proof of purchase, which is always nice. Makes it clear that you didn't steal it, which is always good. We always like that. So, in here we have our dice tokens, but first, let's take a look at the contents of the cards. So, as I mentioned, there's the reference card, which gives you the dice symbols and a sense of what they do, and then on the back a reminder of the different actions you can take in each of the turns, which is always good. These nice Star Wars backed cards. Here we go. So this is a little fan out to see. We're going to go through them one by one, just have a quick skim through, and I'll be able to show you what's in them. But first, let's find the dice that go with them. So here we go. So here first we have Boba Fett. So I've learned my lesson from the Luke Skywalker set. Here are 2 dice that both correspond to Boba Fett. His special ability, deal damage to a character equal to the value showing on a die, yours or an opponent's. So any die. I guess you can choose which one, make the best use of it. So that's always handy. He's a strength of 11, deadly mercenary, and a villain. Even though technically he is just a gun for hire, but just saying. It's a bit odd. Anyway, next we have his natural ally, the veteran stormtrooper. I'm still salty about this. It should be Bosk, or even Dengar, anybody, just not a veteran stormtrooper. They crap out on these in the villain packs all the time, and I'm sick of it. And it's just irritating. So if you're listening Fantasy Flight, and I hope you are, I'd love to see some more varied villains, because in every villain pack starter set so far, it's been one villain and one generic soldier with a slightly better buff, which is not really good enough. So, here are some cool art cards. So, Entangle, a neutral event involving yellow characters. Obviously, they sort of colour code them to a point. Sometimes they're not quite as prescriptive as that, but generally they're colour coded alongside what is going in. The 74Z speeder bike. So, let me just find the dice that goes with that. So, that's one of the vehicle upgrades you can attach. That's a neutral one again, so anybody can use it. But it's got some quite nice artwork on it. All of them are very, very nice artwork. They don't just use shot from the film. They kind of redraw it. Battle Fatigue, an event card, and that is a villain event, so that's an interesting choice considering that's a rebel trooper, but alright, fair enough, I will go with it. So it's a villain red card, Battle Fatigue, for 1 resource, which is quite cheap really. Next we have Imperial Might. That makes sense as a villain card, a red one. Resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by 2, very cool. 2 resources to chuck that one into the mix. Next is Rumors, so that's a villain yellow card, which forces an opponent to pick one and then you can discard one from the others, which is pretty cool. So it forces them to sort of pick, which is nifty. That's a cool shot. Subdue event villain. Choose a character that has 3 or more damage, remove one of its character or upgrade dice. Crikey. So if somebody's running with a bit of a wound, then you can take out some of their actions. Take Flight, an event card for villains. Ambush, reroll up to 2 of your yellow dice. Pretty cool. And considering it's free, doesn't cost you any resources, that is always good. Next we have another vehicle, support vehicle, Slave 1. So this is always a fun one. Obviously, Slave 1, quite iconic, very much associated with Boba Fett. Reroll one of your yellow dice, then remove an opponent's dice showing a value equal to the value showing on the die you just rerolled. So you can use it as a power action only once per round. So that's pretty cool. So there's some of the bits there, some of the different symbols that it can show. Next, Hunter Instinct. So it's got a dice. It's got a die with it. Now tell me again why we can't have Bosk. I just don't get it. I really don't. I really don't understand. Anyway, 2 special symbols allowing to deal 1 damage to a character or 2 if they've got 3 or more. So that's pretty cool as the match wears on. Wrist Rocket's a weapon that goes with villains. Yellow character only, so mainly goes with Boba Fett and sort of bounty hunters, I guess, scum and villainy types. For a special, deal 2 damage to a character and spend 1 resource to deal 2 damage. Next, a red neutral event card called Crackdown. Great game, by the way. If you've ever played it on Xbox, you'll know what I mean, so that's always good. Not really much to say about this one. It's a cool bit of art. Crash Landing is another neutral event, so remove a die showing damage, then deal indirect damage equal to the value. So you can essentially re-roll, kind of redistribute damage that's being done. So this one is Locked and Loaded, a red event card which is neutral. Spot a red character to turn up to 2 of your dice to sides showing indirect damage, so you can basically spray and pray. Pretty cool. Superior Position, a neutral event. Play only if you control the battlefield, remove a die. So that's pretty cool. Well, what's coming up in the next one is quite nifty because it's a shot of Agent Callus versus Zeb from Rebels, which are redrawn. Very nice indeed. For this is Face Off, a neutral yellow event. And then, Quick Draw, another neutral yellow event. So playing a weapon on one of your characters, you may activate that character. Ice Storm, an event removing shields from each character. So that's a nice way of kind of thinning out the battlefield's remaining health and shields, if you're desperate to. A support card called Backup Specialist, an action to exhaust to reroll 2 dice. Here we have a Hidden Blaster. We've seen one of these in the starter set, so the weapons in this, apart from Boba Fett's rockets, are generic. And they look, I think, I would be inclined to say, identical, symbol-wise. Not really surprising there. So, similarly, the hunting rifle, once again, identical. No special ability to speak of. 4 faces with stuff and 2 blank ones, which is not a bad balance for something that's relatively cheap. So obviously it's good to bulk out your force if you haven't really got much going on in the field. And then we have our Battlefield's condition card coming up. This is the last one in the starter deck. An Arid Wasteland on Geonosis, which is quite a nicely tied thematic to Boba Fett. Claim allows you to force an opponent to lose 1 resource, so that's a useful power indeed. So there you go. So that's the Boba Fett starter set deck. Like I say, the only thing that really grates on me is the lack of villains. Apart from that, I think it's a perfectly good deck. I think it's a really good game as a general rule. But like I say, it's just the villain decks. They're just so lackluster when it comes to the villains they include. But there you go. What can I do? Hopefully effect change. That's always nice. So let me just pop those away. So thank you very much for watching this video while I describe the contents of the Boba Fett starter set to you. If you've enjoyed it, then obviously there will be links at the bottom of the Emotion E14 blog post which allow you to purchase Destiny related things from our Amazon store if you've whitelisted us, which I really would like you to do. You can tweet me at RobBoyVision, let me know what you thought, and find everything on emotionally14.com. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.